Hello everyone, welcome to next lesson, Dancing in the Rain, written by Azim Hasim Premji. So before we go to the lesson, let me tell you a few words about Azim Hasim Premji. Hasim Premji is one of the most important personalities in the field of software companies. He is the chairman of Wipro Companies Limited and he is a business tycoon. He is called the Jar of Indian Industries. And last of all, he is the philanthropist. A philanthropist is a person who contributes and donates finance for the welfare of the humanity, for the needy, for the poor. He has opened so many schools, colleges and also a university in India, and he has delivered so many speeches, written so many articles, all of them focusing on education to bring about transparency in education, in the educational system. So his speeches and articles and writings are very much inspirational, motivational, with clear-cut message. And the present lesson, Dancing in the Rain, is one of the most beautiful lessons like that. So before I start the lesson, let me tell you, this lesson is about the children, the small kids, the future of our country, the backbone of Indian economy, the potential of a nation. They are the children. How should we deal with them? Hasim Premji, in his mind, has a great concern for the children. And for that reason, he has written this topic, Dancing in the Rain. So dancing in the rain means nothing but maximum freedom, abundant freedom, happiness. When a person is in blissful stage, in the highest state of mind of happiness, the person says that he is dancing in the rain. So he is saying that, do the children in India have that freedom? So before he comes to that point, he talks about two realities. One is the realities in Indian industries, factories, fields, hotels and many other places of hard work, laborious work, unhygienic work. The places where children are employed, that we call it is child labor. The pathetic conditions of the children. He talks about the pathetic conditions of the children. You know what does it mean? Child labor. The child laboring means working hard from morning to evening. In single word, he says it is a crime, simply because children are not provided freedom. They are not provided childhood. Childhood means freedom. That freedom is not provided to the children who are employed in factories. He visits Jari factory in New Delhi and he finds this shocking scenario, and he gets shocked to see that how the children are suffering. They are suffering from physical pain, mental pain. They are deprived of their education. They do not go to the schools, unlike the other children who enjoy in the school. then he says that this is nothing but a social malaise, a social stigma, social evil, a social crime which the society is committing. Employing the children in the factories is a social crime. Then he immediately brings his conclusion. He starts thinking. He brings this reality to another reality. The children in our school, do they have freedom? What kind of freedom they have? He visits one of his colleagues' house in Bangalore and he meets a girl who is studying in 9th standard in a reputed school in Bangalore. He comes to know that that girl gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. From 5 o'clock in the morning to night 10 o'clock, she doesn't have even half an hour in the middle in her hectic timetable of study in the name of so-called coaching, IIT coaching, MSET coaching, the coaching of different entrance examinations. She is totally packed. Exactly in the same way he saw the children employed in the Jari factory in New Delhi. Then he asks her, he puts a question to that girl. Beta, do you have any time to play? And we will be shocked to see that girl, how does she answer, She says that, uncle, when do we have time to play? I am in 9th standard. You know how important is IIT exam and entrance exam. And she is telling in such a way that if you miss IIT exam and entrance exam, you are missing whole life. As if life is given so many times, chances. Even though you die, you should prepare for entrance examination. That is the way this meaning of education is imposed, thrust into the mind of the children. And he is shocked to find this. That when we teach something bad to the children and the whole society imbibes it, any bad habit, drinking, smoking, anything, when you become habituated to it, addicted to it, that time that bad thing becomes a good thing for the people who are addicted. And however we try to remove that idea, if you want to eradicate that idea from the mind, it is impossible. It is a hard task. So he is shocked to see. Then he asks us, these two realities, the children in the factories and the children in the school, is there any difference between these two realities, two situations in the real life? No way. Still, where is the chance? What is the meaning of childhood? Where is the chance? Then he is talking about what is childhood. Childhood means, according to Hasim Premji, childhood means only freedom. Enormous opportunities. He is talking about certain kinds of freedom should be given to the children. First is that children should be given freedom to play with friends. First thing, playing with friends. You know the word friend. Friend, because in childhood, the peer group, without friends, children cannot play. Nobody plays single-handed. So playing with friends is out of question. It is a thing of the past. There is no playing with the friends. And he is telling that exploring the world. Exploring the world means what? Going for tour, visiting many new places, places of natural importance, plains, plateaus, making tours, historically important places. That is called exploring the world. Where is journey, excursions, places of historical importance. If you do not visit those places, if you do not traverse the world, if you do not tour the world, if you do not visit so many places, if you do not meet the people of different culture, people of different language, people of different states, we will not enlarge our horizon. And this freedom should be provided to every children. He's talking that is. And third thing he is talking about, to meet interesting people. Interesting people. Children are very much curious. So he is telling creativity, potentiality, creativity, knowledge is abundantly available in a child's mind, but that knowledge, when it will blossom, when it will grow, if we are not able to provide freedom to the children, he's telling that is not there, because this hectic timetable does not have any space for all these things. Meeting interesting people, visiting new places, playing with friends, developing curiosity, all these things, and exploring the world. It is not there. So he says, when rain falls in the rainy season, what happens? It is falling flat. The children should be given abundant freedom. And what does it mean? What does it mean? He is telling. Why it is so happening that children are not given freedom? Who is responsible for it? He is giving the answer. Who are responsible? There are two factors. One is the school, another is the parents. What is happening? He is telling, whatever may be the reasons. The reason may be social condition, the reason may be financial condition, the reason may be whatever, but freedom is straitjacketed. Every parent has an aspiration. Parents, how do they design the children's future? A doctor parent wants to make doctor children. An engineer father wants to make his son engineer. What about his own original way of thinking? Where is his right? Where is his freedom? It is not that we can always decide what we want to think for ourselves. So children should be given that freedom, is telling. So societal conditioning, the social conditioning also is very different. They are not able to develop by themselves, blossom by themselves. And he says that they are straitjacketed. Straitjacketed means a jacket where you are bound, you are exploited, you are cheated. Before you start speaking, somebody suppresses you, somebody imposes you, somebody cuts away your idea. Don't talk, sit straight, shut up your mouth. Your new ideas never get expression. Children are not allowed to speak. They are never allowed to explore their potentiality. This is what unfortunately he is telling, that every child is given, is provided with, is gifted with a tremendous potentiality. But our school is not giving that chance to flourish it, to nourish it, to grow under such conditions. And he is telling, is there not another type of child labor? So the school is also a prison house, he is telling. And he says, if our children are not free from these social norms, if they are not free from hunger, if they are not free from poverty, we cannot say that country has developed. So the final indicator of a country is that the children should develop freely. They should be provided all these conditions. Then only this country will develop. And he tells that how it will happen. He is giving you an example at last. The example of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is saying that I did not learn anything. Whatever father I have become, I did not become father from reading from manuals, neither from learned persons, not from great intellectuals. So whatever knowledge I gathered from the children only, he is telling. How? Why it is possible? Because children are gifted with two qualities, telling. Children are very free in thought. So we must all understand that. Azim Hasim Premji is telling one important thing. You all must understand it. He is telling that generally adults are not free. Our mind is not free because our mind is, adult mind is always packed with, preoccupied with, fixed with different pressures, different aspirations, desires, burdens, responsibilities, social, economic, political, cultural, religious. So we are not allowed and we cannot think freely. So new ideas cannot strike to our mind so suddenly as it strikes the mind of a child, because adults are very much conditioned people. Whenever they work something, they have some reward in front of them. Without reward, without award, without fruit, without result, they will not work. But children are not like that. They have freedom to think. So the freedom of thinking is more with the children. And adults should, what should they do? The adults should bring out this, should help to expose this freedom in the children, and then we can get benefit. Not only the children, we can get benefit. We can learn from their potentiality. We can learn from them. That is what is important. And second, he said that how should the teachers should behave? The parents should not impose their aspirations into the mind of the children. They should not thrust, they should not push their ideas into them. Always, every time. We can become lamp post, light post, but we cannot become exploiter of their mind. We cannot become the cheat of their mind. We cannot cheat them. That is what he is talking about. The next thing is what he is talking about is the teacher. The role of a teacher. How does a teacher should behave? How does a teacher benefits, enrich? He is telling the teacher and student should become co-learners. A teacher should first of all become a learner, then teacher. And both teacher and student should become co-learners. Then the education will become beautifully designed. The teachers have to learn from the students, because they have to, you should not think that all the teachers have to learn from the students. No, the way the students wants to move, that is very important. If we restrict the movements of the children's growth, the potentiality, their curiosity, the curiosity is very important. Curiosity is very important in the children. The children are very curious. They have keen observation. We all know they can observe even an ant. But in our hurriedness, in our hectic humdrum, in our routine life, in our mechanical life, we do not have such chances. We do not have such scope to think of creativity or curiosity. But children are free from all these things. And this freedom we should utilize, not misutilize. If you utilize the freedom of the children in our life, we will benefit it. That is what Mahatma Gandhi said, that teachers and the students should become co-learners. One should not impose education on the other. We have to go according to the receiving standard of the student, not what we know we should impose. We should go according to their receiving power. That is the first duty of a teacher. He or she should go according to the receiving capacity of a student, and there will be the co-learner. Then the nation will benefit. They will benefit. And at last, in the conclusion, the author wants us to learn one thing, that if you want to say that our country will develop financially, technologically, diplomatically, politically, culturally, religiously, then we have to make a change. We have to go for a change. What is that change? The change is that our schools should be no more prison houses. So Azim Hasim Premji, when he looks at the schools, he thinks that these schools are nothing better than prisons, and where the convicts, the criminals are the books. So every school looks like a prison where books are gathered and dumped. There is no other activities. So he's telling that you change these books, convert them into the laboratories of exploration, where children will be given freedom to read books, to read nature, to explore world, to meet new people, interesting people, to develop their curiosity, to freely think and to realize their potentiality and to express their views. So this should be the laboratories, the laboratory of experimentation of their children's mind. So schools are now prison houses, the prison house of books, and they should be converted into, changed into the laboratories. And homes, the parents, the homes are the tuition centers. Instead of making it tuition centers, these homes should be converted into the entertainment centers or the centers of sport and art, painting, designing, creativity should be infused into the students, into the children's mind. Then only our country will develop. Otherwise, country will not develop, and they will be given in freedom in such a way that whenever there is rain on the street, the children, when nothing is there in their mind, they are free, they will run headlong into the street when it rains. What does it mean? Means the natural happenings, change of season and the attraction of nature. These are no more attracting the children. So Hasim Premji, internally he tells very important point. The first thing is that adults cannot think freely. We do not have freedom because we are preoccupied. Children have the freedom of thought. At least we should make use of that thought. Otherwise, there will be no difference between the child labor or the children in the factory and the children in the schools. It will be the same story. And he finds these two parallels. So that's why in the beginning of the lesson he said this, that is this scenario different from the scenario which is happening in every school nowadays. The schools have become the prison houses, having no chance for the development of the children. And that's why he says that children should be given freedom to the extent of dancing in the rain. If you think naturally, practically, in villages, in realities, people don't bother about the weather. They are born and brought up in rough and tough weather, in rain and shower, in sun and shower. Everybody grows up without bothering about these responsibilities. The children are given huge responsibilities, book responsibilities, timetable responsibilities, coaching responsibilities, entrance examination responsibilities. And this is nothing but the exploitation of the children, suppression of the children, social crime, extreme cheating, subjugation. It is the oppression of the children. It is the deprivation of the children. It is cutting short of their life. It is fleecing them as we cut lot of wool from the sheep. In the same way, as we remove the bud from the plant without becoming fully developed into a flower, we have the same kind of treatment for the children, both at home, in the school. And if we move like this, if we treat our children with this purpose, with this intention, neither the school nor the home will develop, and finally the country will not develop unless until the children are allowed to dance in the rain. There should be given that much of freedom. So that is what is about the lesson, dancing in the rain. I hope you understood the lesson. We will meet in the next lesson. Thank you all. Take care yourself.